road to peace in Ukraine, though long, begins with a single step, and that is precisely what U.S. President Donald Trump has taken. His meeting in Alaska with war criminal Vladimir Putin could trigger a domino effect that will lead to the collapse of the Russian war machine.
Now it's really up to President Zelenskyy to get it done. And I would also say the European nations, they have to get involved a little bit.
President Trump, what's your message to Vladimir Putin, sir?
Tomorrow, the White House will host the next stage of the American diplomatic offensive. Donald Trump will meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. The main topic will be the trilateral meeting between Trump, Zelenskyy, and Putin, which, according to American media, may take place at the end of next week on Friday, August 22nd, somewhere on neutral ground. What Donald Trump is doing right now is a very serious attempt to end this conflict, which neither side can win, and it is an acknowledgement of a certain state of affairs. And Donald Trump is simply rising above it and saying, okay, let's think about what can be done about it. And he is making a concrete proposal. On the table are security guarantees, similar to those of NATO allies. Article 5 is the iron rule of one for all for one. A similar mechanism is also to be applied to Ukraine, which may find itself under the American umbrella.
Most importantly are these security guarantees. How do they know that Russia will not attack them again?
Putin just needs to be dissuaded from his absurd demand that Ukrainians leave Donbass.
Washington is with us, and today in several forums we are deciding what we are going to discuss in Washington.
Volodymyr Zelenskyy will not fly to Washington, D.C. alone.
Le président Trump.
He will be accompanied by European leaders, including the President of France, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, the Chancellor of Germany, the Secretary General of NATO, and the head of the European Commission.
I'm very glad that I'm able to accompany you and other European leaders for the meeting tomorrow that we do have with the US President in the White House.
And if it weren't for the seriousness of the situation, it would even be funny that the same politicians who want to push American companies and American soldiers out of Europe in order to return to doing business with Russia are the same ones who criticized Donald Trump so much, are now lining up to talk to the Republican about peace in Ukraine and security in Europe. European liberals and socialists collaborated with Putin. They bought coal and gas from him, provided him with money for the war. And when he started the war in Ukraine, they spent a long time considering what sanctions to impose on Putin. They had doubts. When Trump tries to end this war, in which thousands of people are dying every day, they try to undermine Trump's position. This is the hypocrisy of the Western elites. Macron, Merkel, von der Leyen, and Tusk were Putin's friends. During his second term, Donald Trump has done much more for peace in Ukraine and the security of NATO's eastern flank than left-wing liberal politicians, and the effects of the Alaska summit are yet to come.
Trump's position has always been, we need to stop the fighting as quickly as possible. He has repeatedly used the term ceasefire. He has repeatedly demanded that of both sides. He has repeatedly warned and threatened Russia with severe consequences.
These will not be easy talks, but Donald Trump believes in the success of the peace mission. The fires ravaging southern Europe are spiraling out of control. One of the worst heat waves in decades is making it difficult for Spaniards to fight 20 widespread fires. Temperatures in some regions are reaching 45 degrees Celsius. In addition to firefighters, terrified local residents are helping to extinguish the fires with buckets and garden hoses. It's hell. It's unbearable. Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has announced that 500 members of the Spanish military rescue unit will join the 1,400 people already fighting the fires. We still have a few difficult days ahead of us. Unfortunately, the weather is not on our side, so I urge citizens to listen carefully to what institutions, specialists, and experts are telling us, to trust them, and to exercise the utmost caution in these difficult times, in these critical hours. According to Prime Minister Sanchez, what is happening in Spain is probably the largest intervention in the history of the European Civil Protection Mechanism. We must appreciate the solidarity shown by countries such as Slovakia, France, Italy, the Netherlands, and Germany, which are sending not only personnel to be placed at the disposal of the Spanish civil protection system, but also resources and equipment so that we can work together to control and extinguish the fires as quickly as possible. In Galicia, one of the most affected areas, several fires merged to form a large blaze that forced the closure of highways and rail links in the region. The fire threatened the 17th century Atalaya fort in Verín, built to defend against neighboring Portugal during the Restoration War in the 17th century. The fort did not burn down, even though the flames consumed the nearby vegetation. Forest fires in Spain have already killed 7 people and consumed an area the size of London. According to emergency services, the heat wave, which has lasted for almost 2 weeks, and strong winds are exacerbating the situation. 3 people were killed and 8 wounded in a shooting at a crowded nightclub in Brooklyn, New York. According to preliminary information, the shooting, which involved multiple gunmen, was triggered by an argument in the crowded club.
At approximately 3:27 a.m., the 911 call center started receiving multiple 911 calls about a shooting inside of 903 Franklin Avenue, which is a lounge known as Taste of the City.
Officers arrived at the scene within minutes of the first reports and found numerous victims of the shooting there.
We have identified 11 victims ranging in age from 27 to 61, 8 males and 3 females. 3 of the victims have already been pronounced. 1 male, age 27, 1 male, age 35, and 1 male of an unknown age. The 8 remaining victims are at local area hospitals with what is being described right now.
Police found at least 36 shell casings from several guns at the scene. Detectives are analyzing available surveillance footage from the area. Commissioner Tisch noted that the number of shootings in New York City has reached a record low this year, calling Sunday's incident an anomaly.
We have the lowest number of shooting incidents and shooting victims 7 months into the year that we've seen on record in the city of New York. Something like this is, of course, thank God, an anomaly, and it's a terrible thing that happened this morning, but we're going to investigate it and get to the bottom of.
Police believe that multiple shooters were involved in the incident, which occurred following an argument at a club. No arrests have been made so far. For the first time in history, Air Canada employees are protesting. Thousands of Air Canada flight attendants walked off the job just before 1 a.m. Eastern Time, after months of negotiations over a new contract.
When I first started flying in 1999, I was making about $1,600 a month, and now our new flight attendants are making $1,900 a month. So all of us have been affected by this. All of us have been affected by this complete stagnation of wages, and it needs to stop. We can't use food banks. We can't live 12 to a house. We can't be sleeping in our cars anymore. This is Air Canada, the national carrier. We're all really proud, and we just want to be paid fairly.
The Canadian government has asked the Industrial Relations Board to impose binding arbitration on both sides and to immediately suspend the strike.
We are incredibly disgusted that the Liberal government has been speaking out of both sides of its mouth.
The most controversial point of the negotiations is the union's demand for compensation for time spent on the ground between flights and helping passengers board. Flight attendants currently only receive pay when the plane is in motion.
I'm incredibly disappointed. As you can see from everyone behind us, this is not just flight attendants, this is the transportation industry. And I assure you, this is going to start some fire.
The closure of Canada's largest airline over the weekend directly affects approximately 130,000 people per day.
Air Canada should come and join us in good faith and address the matters that really resonate with our members.
Approximately 25,000 Canadians may be stranded at airports. Air Canada operates approximately 700 flights per day.
Here from Taiwan.
I came here from Taiwan. They say it could take 5 days.
Quite disappointed, actually. Yeah. I don't blame the people for striking. I mean, I totally understand the right to strike and the reasons they're doing it. But I just find that Air Canada's not really giving us much support right now.
The airline's latest offer included a 38% increase in total compensation, including benefits and pensions over 4 years. The union disagrees, arguing that the proposed 8% increase in the first year will be immediately eaten up by inflation.